We're walking by foot down to the shop this morning. Left the truck down here. Got something new last night. So I did a little upgrading on the excavator. I'll show you the delivery real quick, and then I'm going to get into the features of this unit. Anyway, stay tuned. Alright, so I went with a brand new Sany. Like I said before, this is a SY35U, 3.5 tons. Got it from these guys. Again, this is not sponsored. I paid for this, but these guys right here are pretty easy to deal with, and got a great deal on it. So just kind of give you the scope of this machine. I did get it with thumb. I got 2 buckets. I got a tilt bucket coming, and I've got the Wainwright style adapter plate. You'll see another video on that for the mower. And they actually set up this valving for me here, so that I basically just have to turn the valve to use the mower deck and leave the thumb connected. So just a quick shot of the machine. Pretty standard as far as machines go. You know, zero turn machine. The track system works nice. I think it's probably a little bit slower than my John Deere 27, but it's obviously got a lot more track torque and low speed, which is nice. Blade works a lot nicer. You know, I kind of cleaned up the driveway. We had a huge storm in our area recently, which basically just tore that drive up, and pretty much 2 passes with this thing and I was finished, which was really nice. I just got it last night. I actually did it basically almost in the dark. First impressions of the machine, I'm really happy with it. It's probably, you know, I've heard saw lots of YouTube videos, this, that, and the other, on these machines. I went and ran a new John Deere 35, an SV40, a VO 35, and a 50. Caterpillar, several models of the Caterpillar. I will say on the Caterpillar, you know, they had a lot more cooler features, which really, you know, were not, for the price tag, they weren't interesting to me. Mainly it was the hydraulic coupler, which you can actually get this unit with a hydraulic coupler. It just was not an option I was willing to spend a lot of money on, because this system here, it takes 2 seconds to change. Especially one thing I didn't realize with the Wainwright thumb, if you got Wainwright adapter and a thumb, it makes it real easy to change that bucket, because all you do is just hook it, push the thumb against it, and it'll put a little bit of pressure on the bucket to where your penalties drop in. So just wanted to note that real quick. I learned that last night. As far as like power and smoothness, this has as much power, if not maybe more, than those other machines, and it's smoother. I will say the John Deere, I think, is a little faster, like with swing, and I don't know necessarily about digging, but I think the swing was definitely faster. Again, that wasn't important to me. Basically what I was looking for was, you know, homeowner style machine, and it's plenty fast enough to do what I need it to do. And that 2-foot bucket on there, I can pretty much swing all the way around with it fully loaded, even on the side, fully extended, and it doesn't feel tippy. So I'm hoping with the mower, it's not going to feel tippy. So I'm just kind of show you a couple little features. One of the really nice things I like, this actually has tie downs inner and outer. I've never seen that before. I don't remember that being on any of the other machines I looked at. I didn't even have tie downs on the John Deere. the 27C, which is an older model. But you basically got tie downs everywhere. Obviously you've got these here. So it makes it really easy to trailer and get tied down. A couple of things, having the other excavator that I like, this area here is this boom grease fitting is way easier to get to. On the John Deere, it was way up underneath, and you basically had to set the blade down, crawl up on top of it to grease those. I can actually grease that from just standing right there with the cab pointed kind of at the side here without any issue. These do come with a boom guard for this one. Unlike the Yanmar series, they don't have any kind of spring guards or anything like that. Of course, my old John Deere didn't have that. Most of the other models I looked at didn't have it. I will say I'm pretty impressed with the cylinder design. I actually like this a lot better than what the John Deere had. As far as if you had to replace this gland, it's actually got a recessed seal. Nice little buffer zone there. And, you know, just standard keyed flat for your spanner. The hydraulic hoses are nicely placed. My understanding is that you can add another auxiliary hydraulic here if you wanted it, so you can do dual. Yeah, it looks like it's on both sides. And there's your track adjustment fitting. Track motors seem pretty standard. I'm pretty impressed with the cab on this. It's well built. We'll hop in here. So, cab's well built. I don't know if that's going to come through on speaker, but I mean, we're pretty much sealed in here. Kind of looking back here on the controls, some of the things that aren't on YouTube videos. All these come with a radio. They do have Bluetooth as a module, which the dealer did give me the Bluetooth module. So basically it's an FM transmitter, but most important to me is it will read an MP3 on a USB stick, and that seems to work really well. Obviously this one has AC. 35, this is like a fresh air refresh, but this is actually not in this machine. I don't think they come in any of the 35s. The manual says this is a button that really doesn't do anything, so basically it's not drawing in fresh air, which typically you see that gray stuff there. That's good. That means that it's actually not trying to draw that into the cab. I did quite a bit of dusty gravel work yesterday, and as you can see, really nothing got into the cab, and that's the main thing. So I try to run this and plan on running this, you know, with the cab enclosed, because you don't want all that dust and stuff getting in there. The whole point of buying a cab is to keep you away from the elements. Does have an ashtray, got your glass brake, and your fire extinguisher. The stereo is actually really not, I mean, like sound quality wise, it's pretty loud and it's nice. It sounds good. You got air conditioning vent here, which is really nice, and one behind you here. Good flow. It was 90 yesterday, and these windows have just a little bit of tint to them, but I think well into 100 degrees the AC would be able to keep up without any issue. It's pretty cold. Up here you got a LED. You got a little hook back here. The one thing that I don't like is this. So I've got the seat pretty much all the way back. This is supposed to be the drink holder, but as you can see, it hits the seat. And even if I move the seat, I may be able to make some more adjustments. That drink holder's, the clips on it that grab the drink, they're not big enough to really hold anything. So just one thing to keep in mind. What I'll probably plan on doing, you see that hook there? I'm probably just going to hang a water bottle on that. But that's really my only minor complaint. With the inside, for those of y'all that wondering, this is a 2021. A couple of differences. If you look over here, this is not just a big piece of glass anymore. This is a nice sliding window. You've got it on both sides. Works really well, snaps really well. You heard it snap there. So I really do like that. And we got one on this side. This works just like everybody else's works. It slides up. It's real easy to get to. Control wise, they have done an excellent job with the pedals. So basically this is nothing. So this, I've got this flipped up. There's a little lip right here on this that you can kick down that if you need to. And then this is obviously rim control, so I've got that covered. But these work really well. I'm 5'11", and I fit in here nicely, and my boots don't hit the glass. I've got plenty of room to move my feet. I think you know, as the years have progressed on these Sanys, they've made various improvements to this, and I think they've got it pretty spot on. Again, this is 2021, and this works really nice. These flip up, you can flip them back down. And they really don't get in the way. I've got plenty of feet room even with them down. So this is kind of, you know, my natural, just kind of digging mode. And I got plenty of room for my feet. You know, got the defrost here. This does come out, this lower. You basically just grab on these and pull it out if you've got this upper window out of the way. You got good visibility up here. I haven't tried to load a dump yet, but I'm sure that that would work well, and it's probably going to work well for my mower. You got a handle here. Control wise, these don't do anything yet. So these are just reserve function buttons, and if you bought the auxiliary, the secondary auxiliary, there would be another switch here. Over here, pretty simple. Basically, you have one red button on the back, that's the horn. This moves back and forth for your thumb. It's taking me a little while to get used to. I'm used to the John Deere, so that's one of the reasons I've got that up, because I keep, you know, wanting to operate the thumb there, but I'll get relearned here soon. Controls are real simple. You've got throttle here. This is your blade control. I wasn't really sure whether I was going to like this blade control, but having a cab, it pretty much forces you almost to be forward or slightly tilted, where in the John Deere I would actually go completely perpendicular to the blade and look, you know, sideways. So this actually works. Pretty easy to get to, pretty comfortable to run. On the controls, a couple of things that I hadn't seen before. So this does have a backup alarm that you can completely turn off. It is tied with your yellow warning light. You know, a lot of people laugh about the yellow warning light. I work here around the house. A lot of times I'm up next to the road. Played with it a little bit last night, and I think it's probably going to stay, just because I can flip that on and people can see that I'm around and hopefully not run into me. So basically you can have off, which nothing's on, you don't have a backup alarm, etc., or forward alarm. You can turn on the alarm and the light, or you can just turn on the light. So that's kind of a cool feature. Standard stuff here, you got your windshield washer right here and your wiper here. It does have external lights, so you've got two LEDs up here, and you've got another light over there. Super bright. I turned them on last night, and I could definitely dig. You can see the blade. So those work really well. Up here on the controls, one of the things that isn't mentioned about the Sanys, it does have display control of the hydraulic flows, and you can set up different operating modes. I think I've got the thumb, it was at 100% when I got it, and I've got it down to about 20. and that seems to be kind of the good spot. So that's really useful. You know, the John Deere, basically you had to manually adjust or put an orifice in, or you had to do something, you know, manual to make adjustments. But you can adjust that from the cab, something that the Cat and the Kubota and etc. have. Most of the Yanmars that I looked at did not have that. They had like a pressure setting that you could do with a Allen key on the valve spool, etc. But this is actually settable via the control panel. I'm just going to start it up here. One of the things that keeps getting me on this key, which I'm assuming is, I don't know what that position is, but you can't get the key out. So it's not labeled, but you got to have it off to get the key out. Maybe useful, I guess, if you didn't want the key to bounce out when you're transporting it. It doesn't seem to take any electrical power to be in that position. So this is, you know, electronically started diesel. So it kind of works like the Dodge does. You hit the button, you wait a second or two, and it starts. So we'll just turn it on here. Turn the fan down a little. A lot of people have videos on this. You got your general maintenance. So this right here is your actual throttle percentage. So that's what you have your dial turned to. A lot of people ask, when I get it started up here, there's going to be an S and B mode. Let's see if we can get a camera shot of that. So it'll show up in this little square here. My understanding is that there's a standard and a brake mode. So the brake mode is supposed to adjust the machine throttle to your use of the machine, to where if you got it in standard mode and you have the auto throttle turned on, it basically goes from either idle all the way up to what you've got it set at. So those are the two different modes. I'm going to get it started here. So basically you just turn this, and it's going to start even, you know, if it doesn't start right when you turn it, you just let it sit for a second and it'll actually start. So it's not a direct connection start. So we'll get our hydraulics activated here. So these controls were nice, smooth, and very light. I did notice last night when I was running it, I was way less fatigued, because the John Deere, even though it has pilot controls, they're a little harder to move. These are just require just fingertip control. I mean, you just really don't have to have a lot. So we're going to check off on our maintenance here, and as you can see, this is our operating mode. That's just an icon, and that just symbolizes what you have selected. This is that standard and B mode. So you can see it kind of throttled up a little bit. And this is standard mode. So we're going to go up to 75%. Ish. And we'll turn on our auto throttle. That's where the auto throttle's at. The way that you set up your hydraulic flows is you basically go into this screen, and you'll go to info, and you'll set up your hydraulic flows by clicking the little wrench there, and you can change it. As you can see, I've got this one set up on 20. If I had the left hand auxiliary hydraulic, you could set that there. But these are the, just, you know, the icons that you can select. There's several of them. I don't really see, I think they're just placeholders for different flow settings as far as I can tell. So, you know, this part works really well, the display and the flow control settings. The fuel gauge is very easy to see. I'm not too fond of the font. For those of y'all that don't know, I do a lot of firmware development, and, you know, write interfaces like this, and that it's kind of, you know, hokey-ish, but it still works. If you go look at like a Caterpillar or one of the newer machines, they have a much nicer layout and design. So my first impressions are, this is an excellent machine. I've got 3 hours on it now. Really no issues. It's way more powerful, way more comfortable than the old machine. And as far as like operation and function, it's convenient to use, as convenient as any of the other ones would have been. The only exception would be like hydraulic couplers, etc. But this machine does offer that option. I just chose not to get it. Value-wise, this machine came in anywhere between $13,000 and $17,000 less, fully equipped, than any of the other machines base. And that basically means, you know, just the machine, no bucket, no nothing. So this is probably the best value out, at least right now on the market, that I could find in a 3.5. Or I was comparing the 5-ton units. Kind of the same story there. Anyway, I'm going to go do a little digging. You'll see some more videos on this thing, and we'll catch you on the next one. Be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this machine, whether you hate it. I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about Sany, but be sure to leave a comment. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.